Have you ever wondered about the legendary city that supposedly sank beneath the ocean waves thousands of years ago? The story of Atlantis has captured human imagination for centuries. People have searched for this mysterious civilization in every corner of the globe, from the Mediterranean Sea to the Caribbean and even in Antarctica. But here we are, still asking the same question that has puzzled historians, archaeologists, and adventurers for over 2,000 years. Did Atlantis really exist? In this video, we're going to dive deep into this ancient mystery. We'll explore where this story came from, what evidence people claim to have found, and whether there's any truth behind one of history's most famous legends. Before we continue, if you enjoy history and stories like this, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more fascinating content like this to you every week. The tale of Atlantis begins with one man, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BC, Plato wrote about Atlantis in two of his dialogues called Timaeus and Critias. Now this is important because Plato is literally the only ancient source we have for this story. Nobody before him ever mentioned Atlantis, and that's a crucial detail we need to remember. According to Plato's account, Atlantis was a powerful and advanced civilization that existed about 9,000 years before his time. He described it as a large island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we know today as the Strait of Gibraltar. The Atlanteans were supposedly a naval power that conquered many parts of Western Europe and Africa. Their island was incredibly wealthy, with elaborate palaces, temples, and a complex system of canals and bridges. Plato wrote that the Atlanteans became greedy and morally corrupt over time. The gods decided to punish them, and in a single day and night of catastrophic earthquakes and floods, the entire island sank into the ocean, disappearing forever beneath the waves. But here's where things get interesting. Most scholars believe that Plato never intended this story to be taken as historical fact. He was using Atlantis as a philosophical tool, a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris and moral decay. The story fit perfectly with the point he was trying to make about ideal societies and what happens when civilizations lose their way. Despite what scholars say, millions of people around the world believe that Atlantis actually existed. Why is that? Well, Plato's description was remarkably detailed. He gave specific measurements, described the city's layout, talked about their technology and resources, and even mentioned the types of animals that lived there. This level of detail makes the story feel more real than a simple myth. Another reason people believe in Atlantis is that we keep finding evidence of ancient civilizations that were more advanced than we previously thought. Every few years, archaeologists discover ruins of cities we never knew existed, or they find evidence that ancient people had technologies we didn't think were possible at that time. These discoveries make people wonder, if we were wrong about these civilizations, maybe we're wrong about Atlantis too. There's also something deeply appealing about the idea of a lost advanced civilization. It speaks to a part of us that wants to believe in hidden knowledge and forgotten wisdom. The thought that somewhere beneath the ocean lies a city full of ancient secrets and advanced technology captures our imagination in a powerful way. Over the centuries, people have proposed hundreds of different locations for Atlantis. Some researchers believe it was in the Mediterranean Sea, possibly near the Greek island of Santorini. This theory has some interesting support because Santorini was home to the Minoan civilization, which was destroyed by a massive volcanic eruption around 1600 BC. The Minoans were indeed an advanced seafaring people, and their sudden destruction matches some elements of Plato's story. Other people think Atlantis might have been in the Atlantic Ocean, exactly where Plato said it was. They point to underwater formations near the Bahamas, the Azores, or other Atlantic locations as possible evidence. Some of these underwater structures look geometric and man-made, though geologists usually explain them as natural formations. There are even more exotic theories. Some people believe Atlantis was in Antarctica before it was covered in ice. Others think it might have been in the North Sea, the Black Sea, or even in Southeast Asia. With so many proposed locations, it becomes clear that people are willing to fit almost any ancient ruins or underwater formations into the Atlantis narrative. Modern technology has helped in the search. Satellite imagery, sonar mapping, and underwater robotics allow us to explore the ocean floor in ways that were impossible before. Several expeditions have used these tools to search for Atlantis, and while they've found interesting geological features and even some ancient shipwrecks, none have found anything that definitively proves the existence of Atlantis. The scientific community is quite clear on this matter. Most historians, archaeologists, and geologists do not believe that Atlantis existed as Plato described it. There are several strong reasons for their skepticism. First, there's the geological problem. Plato said Atlantis sank in a single day. For an island the size he described to simply disappear into the ocean, there would need to be massive geological evidence. We would see layers in the ocean floor showing this catastrophic event. We would find debris fields, and other coastal areas around the Atlantic would show signs of massive tsunamis. We simply don't have that kind of evidence. Second, there's the historical problem. If Atlantis was as powerful as Plato claimed, conquering parts of Europe and Africa, then other ancient civilizations would have written about them. The Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, the Chinese, somebody else would have mentioned this great naval empire. But Plato is the only ancient source we have. Third, there's the timeline problem. Plato placed Atlantis 9,000 years before his time, which would be around 9,400 BC. At that point in history, humans were just beginning to develop agriculture. The idea of an advanced civilization with complex architecture and naval technology existing at that time doesn't match what we know about human development. However, some scientists do believe that Plato's story might have been inspired by real events. The Minoan civilization's destruction, massive floods in the Black Sea region, or even memories of coastal cities that were flooded after the last ice age. These could have been combined and exaggerated over time to create the Atlantis legend. Whether Atlantis was real or not, we cannot deny its massive impact on human culture. The story has inspired countless books, movies, TV shows, and video games. It has influenced everything from science fiction to New Age spirituality. The idea of Atlantis has become a symbol for lost knowledge, ancient wisdom, and the hubris of civilizations. Many people find personal meaning in the Atlantis story. For some, it represents hope that humanity was once more advanced and spiritual than we are now. For others, it serves as a warning about environmental destruction and moral decay. The flexibility of the myth allows each generation to interpret it in ways that speak to their own concerns and dreams. The search for Atlantis has also had positive effects. It has encouraged ocean exploration and archaeological research. While looking for Atlantis, researchers have discovered many real ancient sites and learned more about our planet's geological history. The quest has pushed technological development in underwater exploration and mapping. We've only explored about 5% of the ocean floor in detail. There's still so much we don't know about what lies beneath the waves. Could there be ruins of an unknown ancient civilization down there? It's possible, though probably not Atlantis as Plato described it. What we might find are the remains of coastal settlements that were flooded when sea levels rose after the last ice age. We might discover evidence of civilizations that were more advanced than we currently believe. Archaeological understanding is constantly evolving, and each year brings new surprises. But even if we find underwater ruins, it doesn't mean we've found Atlantis. It would just mean we found another piece of human history, which is valuable in itself. So, did Atlantis really exist? Based on the evidence we have, the answer is almost certainly no, at least not as Plato described it. There's no geological, archaeological, or historical evidence for a large advanced island civilization that sank into the Atlantic Ocean in a single day around 9400 BC. The legend of Atlantis teaches us to stay humble, to respect nature, and to remember that nothing lasts forever. Whether the city existed or not, these lessons remain important. And who knows? Maybe someday we'll discover something underwater that makes us reconsider everything we thought we knew. Until then, Atlantis remains what it has always been, one of humanity's greatest and most enduring mysteries. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history and legend. What do you think? Do you believe Atlantis existed? Let me know in the comments below.